All right, so what I'm doing today is I am going to show you some of the realities of homesteading, and what it is going to be about today is simple things like just moving material. Now, we're on a regular homestead and we wanted to start easy and low budget. And I know a lot of people want to do the same. They want to do low budget. They think, hey, we'll get a piece of property with a bit of land, and we'll do this in a completely economical way. So what that means is no heavy equipment. So let's talk about what that means on a day like this. We have this pile of wood chips for the orchard and to fill in mud spots. Mud spots being a whole other game when you get into homesteading, but anyway. But they're here. They are not anywhere near where the orchard is. And if you're thinking, well, why wouldn't you just dump them where you need them? Well, on a homestead, you're not going to necessarily have a driveway that goes all the way to where you want things to be. You're talking about maybe you want 10 acres, maybe you want 50 acres. There's a huge distance from the front of your property to the back where you have to get this material. I'm using a Gorilla dump cart, and that's fine. This is a good cart, but it's a long way away from where I need it to be. And in fact, the orchard on our property is really close to the front. So this is actually an easier job than some people might run into. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the process, filling this up. This is one load, filling one load up, getting it to where it needs to be and dumping it. I need to do it about 100 to 200 times. So just picture how long and how exhausting that is going to be for somebody. It's just something you need to think about. It's something that won't necessarily cross your mind when you get into this and you think about low budget. Low budget means a lot of physical labor. It's always going to be the trade-off. Either you're paying somebody to do it and it's not low budget, you're buying the machines, which means you need expertise in how to repair them and maintain them. You need property which these machines can maneuver. You're going to see the path I walk. I'm going to show it to you. We can't have heavy machinery go to where it is. And that's just the reality of it. That's how the property was. And if you're going to say, well, you knew the way the property looked when you bought it, not totally true. This was a wooded lot, relatively flat, and the plan was to cut trees and continue expanding. And that's what we're doing. But as you cut the trees down, the terrain really reveals itself. You see things that you wouldn't have otherwise seen. There's things like underground water sources, which create mud in places that you didn't initially see when you did your first walkthrough. When you walk through a property, I promise you, you're not going to do a walkthrough during all 4 seasons to see exactly what the land looks like. So there's going to be things you miss. So we're going to get into this, and I'll show you just one tiny aspect of things you need to consider when you start a homestead. Okay, so that's as full as it's going to get, because as I said before, I got a bit of rocky terrain to go through. So now I'm going to show you the path that this goes on to get to where it needs to be. I'm taking it with me. Away we go. As you can tell, no truck is coming through here. A four-wheeler would actually be challenged. Drop some wood chips here to make the future trips a little easier. Once again, we're talking about mud. And here we are to the orchard. So I'm putting down wood chips around the trees we have started. I'm also putting them down to make a better path to where we're going to be needed to go in the future. But that was it. I'm out of breath. That was one trip, small trip, And I need, like I said, I probably need a few hundred. And that was, yeah, so that's just one thing you need to think about. As you can tell, this isn't, a truck can't come out here, even though it is relatively close to the front of our property. Sorry, the walk is killing me. But there's something to think about, right? Is doing those little things, moving things along your property. I highly encourage something like a four-wheeler. Even still, it's not always going to be an option. But anyway, that's the realities of homesteading. So as many as I can think up, I'm going to show you guys, because you can learn vicariously through our experiences. Thanks for joining.